1 2 1 2. It's your girl Regine. What it do? What it do? You are now listening to the Bold, the Brown, and the Opinionated Podcast. What's up, y'all? What we talking about today? Let's get into it. Welcome back, my BBO gang. It's your girl Regine. Thank y'all so much for tuning back into the Bold, Brown, and Opinionated Podcast. Y'all, today we are about to argue 2019's hottest topics, and I am joined with some special guests, some familiar, some unfamiliar. We're going to get right into it. I'm going to leave the introductions up to them. Let's get it.
What up, though? You know who it is, man. It's your boy Ty Jack, New Jack City on Instagram. Feel me? We are about to turn up, talk it up, chill out. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Dave, you introducing yourself?
What's up, everybody? This is Dave. Coolin' Dave on Instagram. Yeah, first podcast, so let's get it.
Scoop.
All right, man. It's your boy ScoopTv. You already know, man. Check me out on Instagram, ScoopTv24. We got a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to get right into it.
Period. And now y'all know this voice.
Asia. Hey, it's your girl Asia. Instagram name Asia_Beja.
Y'all know her from the Friends, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly episode. Y'all know Asia. She's back again.
We got Super Squirrel in the building.
Super Squirrel.
Y'all know her from Double the Brown.
Feature Captain Sir Turtle.
Period. And we got some people in the background, y'all, that might be coming on the mic. So just gonna look out. Everybody who didn't introduce yourself, y'all want to come, y'all are welcome to come over here and talk about the topics. Today we're doing a 2019 wrap up, y'all. A lot of stuff happened in 2019. Was it a good year for y'all?
Oh, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
blessing. For real.
Blessing.
Definitely blessed. Left the country. That's
Where'd you go?
I went to Paris and London.
Okay,
Lit.
okay.
Was it cold?
Yeah, it was in the 40s, 50s. It's just Pittsburgh weather,
Yeah,
basically.
nah.
How
I
was
like
that?
European
Was that your first time out the country?
First time out the country.
Okay.
Leaving again in a month, so let's get it going.
Okay. You going back to Paris?
No, I'm going to Tokyo and Bangkok.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
shit. I'm trying to get like you, Ty. I only been to India.
It was
Like
cold in
Caribbean
Paris. Don't let him stunt. It ain't even that exciting. I ain't hating, though. I ain't
Come on,
hating.
now, you saw the
Support,
you went to the
yeah,
Eiffel
I
Tower.
ain't hating. That's the
Of course I
hump.
went to
Ty, why did you have a good 2019?
Shit, man. You know what? Finally established my LLC. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Definitely got the business going. Got the suits and everything. Finally on
Say
being
the
dad.
name.
Ooh,
Why you
say
say
my name.
Yeah.
Oh, my fault.
Come
You know.
on now.
If they knew already, you know what I mean? They followed them. But no, you know what it is, man. So I definitely dropped my new suit line, Dress Confident Apparel. You feel what I'm saying? You can check me out, dressconfidentapparel.com. Tailor-made suits, man. Anytime you go and get your measurements, send them to me. Work on my website, you know what I mean? I'll help you out through the whole service. I try to provide that 100% customer service, and just to make sure you guys get that quality fabric, that quality, wear, you know what I mean? So anytime anybody interested in doing something positive, I also do that too. And, I'm just promoting, man. My 2019 was very great, man. Like I said, I got the news I was going to be a father in 2020.
Congratulations
Man,
on
man.
record.
So
On
definitely.
record, congratulations.
I
swear.
Twins.
Twins.
Talk that shit.
That's crazy, though. That's crazy.
So I see a lawyer and a judge, you feel me?
Okay, period.
That's how I feel. They about to be selling candy and they going to be like 8 months. You feel me? The hustle, you know what I mean?
For real. That's a blessing.
What's up,
Congratulations.
Scoop? What happened in
How was
2019 though?
2019?
Man, it was crazy. It was a crazy year, man, but I was working real hard. My brand been expanding, so this was a blessing, man, to seeing everything that I achieved when I really thought I couldn't do. But, you know what I mean, just put your mind to it, you can always,
Definitely. What was
Yeah.
the highlight of your 2019?
It was a lot of highlights for real, but helping other people's brands grow, like, developing a lot of artists and stuff like that, a lot of interviews I did. So that was just dope, seeing the talent in Pittsburgh, for real.
Period. There's a lot out there. Asia, what was your highlight of 2019?
My 2019 was great for real. This year I could say it was more positivity, so that was great right there. I got more into my history, more into, healthy things, stuff like that.
You be at the co-op now, y'all?
Yes, we be at the co-op.
Hey.
We really doing that life, that natural.
lit.
We trying to do that. So.
More cow milk. You
Yeah,
drink cow milk?
I don't do red meat.
Oh, yeah,
I don't do
I
no
don't
pork.
mess
I
with
don't do
that dairy,
none of
though.
that at all. Nope. And my son is the reason why I really started doing this. And I don't pay none of that. Nope. None of them flu shots. He don't do no cow. He don't drink milk. He don't do none of that stuff.
Period.
And he's a regular baby. Ain't nothing wrong with him.
That's
Everybody
what's
think
up.
we gotta get this and that from milk. Nope. He good.
That's what's up.
Good. Let me think. My 2019, y'all, I was at work really trying to think of it. I cannot think of the year. So like, I went to the Dominican Republic. I turned 25.
Hey.
I lost 20 pounds. I was working out. Same thing with Asia. Just got, just eating better. I was working out. I don't work out no more than, but girl, one day I'm gonna go back. What else happened in 2019 for me? I don't know. I think my biggest lesson I learned was just that friends ain't forever. Some people can't go with you everywhere you're destined to go. So that was the biggest lesson I learned. And
Yeah, one thing I was just telling my my little cousin, I just was lecturing her, you know what I mean? She's acting out in school, and I was letting her know, like, you ain't got to show off for people, you feel me?
Definitely.
The people that's going to join you in your success is going to be right there with you.
Period.
The people that need to be in your life is going to be right there with you. You know what I mean? We old enough to know that, like you said, we left a couple friends behind because I did as well, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, everybody ain't for you. You feel what I'm saying? And everybody's
That's
only
a
in for
hard
the
lesson
convenience.
to learn. When you've been with somebody for so long, rocking with them so hard.
Especially coming from the bird.
Definitely.
That's
Right.
because I be telling people, like, loyalty is different in me. You feel what I'm saying? Because, like, back in the day, bro, you could have fed me and had a place for me to stay, and I'll do whatever you needed me to do.
Right,
You feel what I'm saying? On the street level. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it was. Like, you let me stay at your crib, and I could eat there. You feel what I'm saying?
Family.
Bro, I remember, like, one time, motherfucker that wasn't even in my family, like, I'm feeding his kids, like, holding it down. Just showing that utmost respect because it's like, we all are trying to accomplish the same goal. I just might not have had it, the same. I wasn't as fortunate as you. You had it, but you opened the doors to me. So I felt like, damn, you showing me something different. You know what I mean? So you deserve my upright respect
that's true.
and my loyalty. But don't get it twisted because some people use people.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Some people become leeches, you know what I mean? And lose sight of that vision. And that's why, like I said, the people that are meant to be there is going to be there. The people that ain't going to be there, don't worry about them. Let them go. That's why I don't feel people should show off for other people. And everybody ain't your friend, man. Just because we talk every day and everything like that, you got to go through trials and tribulations with me for me to call you a friend.
Exactly.
Point blank.
Exactly.
I agree.
That's
What's
very
the hardest
true.
lesson y'all had to learn in 2019?
You said the hardest lesson. Sometimes with growth, people ain't there for you to be through that. So, you know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do, to expand your mind, your thinking. Just keep your pure mind and stay positive. Like, that's really what I learned in 2019 is being more positive and having the right mindset to get through where I got to get to.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Dave, Asia, did y'all learn any lessons in 2019?
I did. I complained to you about it for real. So, Maz is definitely the way you treat people. Don't expect that coming from them because at the end of the day, it's not gonna work out like that for everybody. Treat people the way you want to be treated, but everybody don't go by that. So.
I feel that.
I guess for me, what's the hardest thing I learned in 2019? I guess my work ethic taught me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Learning that if you want something, you got to really put your all into it for you to get it. If you half-ass it, you won't get half-ass results. So
Facts.
I learned a lot. So definitely 2020, my foot's down. I'm going hard for everything I do now.
Okay,
Clear vision.
Yeah.
2020, the year of clarity.
Nah, for
So,
real.
I'm gonna tell y'all. So my big bro,
Right.
So my big bro, he do a lot of business and development and all that stuff, right? So he do like property development and all that. And he told me he's like, bro, how your suits going? You feel what I'm saying? How your photography, your videography going? He's like, everything that you did before this, getting everything together, that was the test run. That was the trial.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Now it's time to put everything 100% because this next year, you're a clear vision, bro. You already know what you got to do.
Right,
you see it. You feel what I'm saying? Go get it. You know what I mean? So I was like,
So
shit.
talk about it. Talk about your 2020 goals then.
So my 2020 goals, man, for real, I'm actually trying to be here, for my wife and for the birth of my daughters.
Right.
So what I'm doing right now is trying to be the best I can be in the military, trying to hold it down, make sure I got all my qualifications and take my career first. But for my outside hustle, just trying to stay consistent because I know that my 2019, my 18, my 17, you know what I mean? I was kind of inconsistent behind my photography and videography, but which I'm comfortable with because I know I got a number one career. You know what I mean? But I know where I want to be as far as, like Dave said, the amount of work that you put in is the results you're going to get out of it.
Exactly.
So I knew that personally I was only putting in, maybe 70-60% of my work to my side hustle because I'm putting in, the other 40 to 100% on my actual, my career. But what I want to get out of that is I'm okay with gradually moving on my side hustle. Only because I know that I got my career, but whenever I step and retire, I'm only going to be 40 when I retire.
Right.
You know what I mean? People still be in a bar when they 40 years old. You know what I mean? Still living their young lives in a bar and shit. When I'm 40, I'm trying to have a business.
Right.
You know what I mean? So whenever I throw my parties and do my events or want to host photography or videography, they already know, hey, yo, 100 Photography, DCA's holding an event. You feel what I'm saying? Come through. They ain't got to, who's that? I don't want to, who's that? You know what I mean? So that's why I know the amount of level that I'm coming with, but I know that this time around, I could be doing more. So I'm going to put more work into my product, you feel what I'm saying? And I'm going to be supporting my friends because that's what it's about, man. If you know somebody with a business, support your friend's business, man. Don't be out there letting them lag because there's other entities out there that's looking for to stop our shine.
For
you know what I mean? And the only way we're going to beat that is if we outnumber them on a certain level. I'm thinking outside the box.
Period. Dave, what's your 2020 goals?
2020 goals. To be honest, my 2020 goal is me. So I'm doing everything, starting from finances, credit, to even I think obtaining my first rental property by the end of the year. That's my first goal. But besides that, just working on being a better me all the way around, regardless if it's emotional, financial, and I guess just health. To be honest, continue traveling, continue enjoying life, but just focus happiness too. That's my main priority.
Definitely, I think that's one of the most important. Being happy in life. Scoop, what's your 2020 goals?
For me, I would want to say I want to get more organized for real. Like, I'm all over the place. I will not lie to you. So we're really trying to work on that as far as like the work that I do, the content that I'm putting out. I'm just trying to stay on it. Like, I want to be very consistent in what I'm dropping and stuff like that. I want to travel as much as I can because I tell people all the time, the more you get out of Pittsburgh, it opens up your mind. Like, a lot of people don't really know that, don't really realize that. Like, I met so many people just from talking. Like, it'd be somebody on the bus stop that I don't even know, They might do something that can help me in the long run that a friend that I knew for all my life might not can't even help me. So it's just one of them things. I'm just trying to be organized. Mental health is one big thing for me too, because sometimes I'm stressing. Like, sometimes they tell us as men that we shouldn't be stressing about nothing and like don't bitch about certain shit. But sometimes it's like we go through a lot of shit. Like, what I mean? Let alone anybody, not just males, but it's just one of them things, like, you really just got to get yourself together and your mind straight. So I'm just working on that, too. So that's really a couple of my goals. Yeah, just achieving everything, for real.
I feel that healthy mind, healthy life. I really agree with that. Adrian, what's some 2020 goals you got?
Mine is me and my family that I made. We're definitely working towards a business, so it's really finances, getting our credit together and everything. I say for like 2019, we did work on our mental health and everything and grew closer with each other, but we're going to continue that in 2020. Like, I feel like we're learning together, so us learning together is really keeping us closer. So definitely the business is the number one thing right there.
Yeah, I feel that. Y'all have a good 2020. I could feel it.
Oh, what's your goals?
Yeah.
I wrote my goals. Basically, 2020 for me is basically about traveling. I'm trying, y'all know, I'm trying to be out the country, so I'm trying to travel as much as I can. I'm trying to expand my podcast more, be more consistent, definitely be more consistent, come up with a schedule. But I'm just really living life. I've been happy for a long time, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. I've been working on myself for a long time. I'm in a great space right now in my life as far as my career. I'm trying to get out the state, though. I'm trying to move out the state. That's probably been my goal since I graduated college.
Where you trying to go?
Man, I was trying to go to Dallas.
Yeah.
They ain't trying to hire me in Dallas. I've been applying for 2 years, so it's time to move on from Texas.
You try Houston? You know Houston's great.
Houston, so I've been to Houston a couple of times. Houston to live for me is too big. I'm scared to drive in Houston 5 lanes straight. Like then the exits be in the middle lane, left, right. Like Houston's too big for me, but it's nice to visit.
Yeah.
So right now I've been applying more so Florida, the DMV area. I'm just trying to go somewhere hot, huh?
Trying to own your own house?
Oh, definitely own my own house. My credit already A1. Not to brag, but I got.
I mean, we listened to the last episode.
So y'all know. So, I get,
Credit game.
Credit game. You know what I mean?
I like that. Oh, we got big shit popping off in 2020. So y'all ready to get into some 2019 recap?
Yeah, let's do it.
Y'all better act like y'all know what happened in 2019 now.
I'm gonna be real. I don't.
Ty.
I'm only I'm in the military. I be blocked, man. I don't be paying attention.
All right, y'all. So now that everybody got their goals out the way, everything they accomplished in 2019, which I love, and if there's any way I can support any of y'all, let me know. Whatever it is, let me know. I'm down to support, collab, do whatever. So let's get into this 2019 wrap up. All right, y'all. I think the hardest thing that happened in 2019 was Nipsey Hussle passing away. Mm-hmm. That was a shocker to everyone. I know that probably touched everybody differently. How did it touch y'all?
Man,
we want to go first.
Cause bro, I know he really rocked with Nipsey.
Yeah,
I did
so
too.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now,
really
man.
Did.
Chill out. I'm gonna tell you. Keep it a stack though.
That's real.
It was 4:00 in the morning. That's Bahrain time, right? So they don't do no daylight savings time, so their hours are strict. And my wife, you feel what I'm saying? She's over in San Diego, California, and she texts me. You feel what I'm saying? And she's like, "Babe," and I'm like, "What's wrong? Like, what's good? Like, you feel what I'm saying?" And she's like, "I can't." She's like, "Yo, they killed your homie. Like, they killed your mans," and I'm like, "What?" So I like, you know what I mean? So I had to like. I'm gonna call you back. You know what I mean? So I had to like gather everything. Like, damn, what? You feel what I'm saying? And it's not even that. Like, I felt the message he was putting out, man. And I'm gonna tell you right now. So my big dog, you feel what I'm saying? That like helped me out. Like my whole Cali vibe, like all my fam in Cali, they already know how I get down. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and the work we put in is like it's phenomenal. You feel what I'm saying? Like. I had my first mansion party out there, easy. You feel what I'm saying? I tried to do a party in Pittsburgh. It took me, I think, like 8-10 people came. We had 150 people, and it was women 4-1 to every dude. Like, it was crazy, but that was just the vibe. You feel what I'm saying? So everything on this business level shit, you know what I mean? Everything that I've been learning, I've been learning it through them. Just watching how they rock. Their mindset is so different. It's about money. You know what I mean? They ain't worried like, yeah, they got that, the set thing, you feel what I'm saying? And then we ain't really gang banging in the Berg and shit. Yeah. How they gang bang, you know what I mean? Because we more we want that bread, but at the same time, it's love. And then my big homie, Crinder Photography, man. First time in Bahrain, hits me up. He finds out, and this is how I met him. I was talking to his girlfriend, and I was like, yo, I do photography, da-da-da-da, you know what I mean? Whoop-de-whoop. I'm looking for some models. And she's like, oh, you should talk to my boyfriend. You know what I mean? Bet. I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. What he do? He do the photography. You feel what I'm saying? He's from Cali. You know what I mean? And he put me on to the whole Nip thing before. Like Nip was already big. And the only Nip song that I really knew of was that, what was that shit what he had with Drake? You feel what I'm saying? He had a little joint with Drake. I used to listen to that joint and play 2K. But when that motherfucker died, yo, and it was like, everything, like I was waiting. He was just about to drop something with Meek Mill. I was like, ooh, this is crazy. Right. This is about to be crazy. Just that business mindset, like that awakening. You feel what I'm saying? Bro was on it. You know what I mean? And he was so much of an icon to people that was really trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to be in their own lane, making their own money. And he spoke that real. So I was really like, I made a whole poem about bro and everything. That was like a side thing that I do. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to do step into this poetry shit. And I really made a whole poem for bro. On some no homo shit, because it was like, that was like my nigga. When they killed that nigga, I felt like one of y'all died. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, damn. But it hit me hard because I respect what the energy that he had. You feel what I'm saying? And the message that he was putting out. And that shit, I talked to my Cali homies, and a couple of them tell me, like, they still can't believe bro's gone. You feel what I'm saying? And it's weird because I be seeing everybody, like, you know how when you die, everybody be rocking with you. You feel what I'm saying? I be seeing how everybody, went to the grave site. You ain't never seen none of that from me. I've been there twice. You ain't seen none of that from none of me. You feel what I'm saying?
I swear.
You just seen a poem because, and I don't even know, bro. So I'm not even going to stunt like I knew him. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not about to try to make some fame out of it. None of that. I just kept it G with it.
Right.
It hurt mentally because it's like, damn, he was a role model to me through his music.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't even listen to rapping like the way I do. I promote, you know what I mean, Skylife. I promote my homies, like Day Cools, Bruce Lee, all them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't promote all these extra rappers and shit. Like, you might hear me listen to some Meek or somebody.
Yeah.
But somebody that's really putting on a message like Lil Pump and be talking about stupid shit. I just asked my little cousin, like, you think that shit dudes talking about in that rap video is cool? You like that? I bet you I'll beat dude up right now. Won't do nothing.
I swear.
You feel what I'm saying?
I
Like, I
swear.
don't respect none of these rappers. But it's like, that's crazy. So it hit me hard.
Do y'all think the passing of Nipsey Hussle was a bigger impact than what he was when he was alive?
I believe so.
Of course, because
I mean, I say yes because a lot of people that didn't know him, they definitely, like, it was big. Lauren London, like, once everybody started hearing, oh, Lauren London's husband, dad, boyfriend, whatever, that was, like, right there. Who's Lauren London's husband? And then the whole Dr. Sabi thing and stuff and how that, I feel like that impacted a lot of people, too, because I know a lot of my friends start texting me, like, you know who Dr. Sabi is? I'm like, yeah, I do. And they're like, oh, tell me about him and stuff like that. So it did had a great impact, I feel like. Even though it was, like, it was his death and stuff, but, like, a lot of people started opening up to a lot of things from the music that he would talk, the things that he would talk about, all his interviews, like,
bro,
legit.
dude was really preaching.
Yeah,
like,
he had a lot of information. Like, he was real educational.
Yeah.
I just think his death opened up more than what he was doing behind music. Like, his business side was able to come out and stuff he was doing in the community up Compton,
I feel like after his death, like, a lot of people wanted to start taking ownership, you know, having their own business, you know, open up their mind to different things and stuff like that. And that's what I'm big on too. So it's just like a lot of the things that his morals was, it's like one of us for real. Like, we want our own, that's what we're building on. So that right there had me want to, like, have more knowledge of who he was as a person, as an artist and stuff like that too. And he was like preaching a lot of things that I live by every day. But I'm talking about even on the internet. You know what I mean? I'm all about positivity, and I was just like a positive role model, I feel, for black people and this anybody, you know, that's in the same lane as us. So it was a real relatable, you know. So
all right, well, R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. His album just went platinum, so I'm happy about that. Everyone's getting the message that he's speaking. Let's move on. So, did y'all taste the Popeye chicken sandwich this year? Last year, 2019. Y'all tasted it?
I did.
How was it? You didn't taste it?
It might be some goddamn
How was it?
motherfucker.
So I got it on the first go around. People was out there sweating over them sandwiches.
So how long did you wait in line?
Me? Ooh, that was...
See.
was the lie.
So, no, honestly, it was the funniest. I was in Norfolk Sales on Route 30. And it was down to 5 sandwiches. And I think we was like the third and fourth person.
Wait, how did you know they were down to 5 sandwiches?
Because they sweating, ringing us up, talking about, yeah, we only got 5 left. They're doing a countdown like they children.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Laughing. The people behind us is snapping. We probably waited like a solid 25, though.
25 minutes? That's not bad.
No, but you got to think. We pulled up. The drive-thru was on the highway.
Wait, I'm trying to think. The Popeye's on Route 30. Oh, that's by the Aldi's and stuff. Yeah. Okay. And that Kmart that closed down. So y'all was out in the.
We pulled in and walked in, and the line was still long.
Oh, damn.
That's crazy.
Like, they're sitting there dropping sandwiches they go and counting down like it's New Year's or something.
But you waited. How was it? So you wait.
It wasn't. It ain't no Chick-fil-A. It ain't no Chick-fil-A. But it's fire though.
Chick-fil-A. If it's not better than Chick-fil-A, I'm not trying it.
Look here, you still got Bird on the Run,
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, then Popeye chicken sandwich in my
So it's third. Bird on the Run's not beating.
I don't really like. I don't like Bird on the Run, bro. I ain't fuck with that shit.
Bird on the Run's beating
Swear I ain't fuck with
Chick-fil-A.
that. Negative.
Check it out. I'm hitting this stuff.
No, I ain't fuck with that shit.
I had Bird on the Run. That shit's booty.
But yeah,
It's regular.
no, I swear that shit nasty as hell.
That's because I get that extra hot. That's why I'm
they don't be trying to season that motherfucker. Like,
about chicken in Oakland too.
I heard about that. I heard about it.
Yeah.
All right, chicken.
I gotta check that out.
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, I seen that shit.
It was on fire, nigga.
Question.
I swear.
Was y'all eating Popeyes before the chicken sandwich came out?
No, not for real.
Yeah, like I don't
Nah,
feel like Popeyes is a restaurant.
Yeah, we made it this like go crazy. I don't know.
So I don't fuck with fast food.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. Listen.
Yeah.
It's
I don't fuck
Chick-fil-A
with fast food, dog. Yeah.
Damn near.
I don't fuck with no fast food for real.
So do y'all
Like
think the
niggas like
Popeye
that.
chicken sandwich, y'all think was a marketing scheme? Like that they only had a certain amount of
So I heard that shit had
It's smart.
other chemicals in it.
It
Y'all wanna know what I need to say about that?
Yeah, I heard it had like
I educate myself, and I watched a documentary on how they make chicken nuggets now. Chicken nuggets is made in a lab.
yeah.
It's real live chicken in the lab. All that chicken and stuff is fake because it's really killing all of our animals. There ain't none.
Yeah.
They're all diseased up. They're all sick. There's really nothing for us for real. So they're really they're trying to make meat.
What documentary
A
is
lot
that?
of meat in a lab.
What documentary is
That
that?
Popeye chicken sandwich is a lab made meat.
I know, and I gotta stop. Yes, the antibiotics.
I only eat the flat
pig
piece of the
stuff,
chicken.
too, though. The pig stuff is the worst.
The flat piece. If I go to Permanis or go to anywhere, I'm like, I need flat wings.
Some
Oh
flat
yeah, I
wings.
want flat too.
I gotta get the
I do, I be
drums.
wanting
I gotta get
flat.
the
I heard
drums.
the flat piece of the wing is where they put most of the I don't know, the GMOs and shit in it.
Oh, for real? I ain't know that.
But I want the flat.
I spirit, yeah.
I don't fuck with dairy. You know what I mean? Because I heard that shit is blocking your insulin, and that's how you get diabetes.
So one thing about cow milk, I don't drink cow milk no more, but I heard, because so today's National Mentor Month. I mentor once a week at Woodland Hills Junior High School. I think everyone should be a mentor. It's only 1 hour a week. But anyway, they told me that, the lady there told me that, like cow milk, everyone eventually turns lactose intolerant because you're not supposed to drink it all your life.
So I was
Yeah.
about to say that happened to me last year.
Really?
I forgot.
So you know what's so funny? I gained that knowledge off of theory of just paying attention. So when I used to wrestle for the half and for City, I used to eat peanut butter and jellies, and I would come in and drink the milk like in the refrigerator, like a gallon of that shit. But I never became lactose intolerant, but I noticed how that fucked my abs up. It go fuck my insides up. You know what I mean? I'm like, why is that? Like, so that's what I do my own research. So I learned that we're only supposed to take the milk from our natural mammals, you know what I'm saying, which is like the mother, you know what I mean? Every mammal is supposed to have the milk from the mother, nothing else, you know what I mean? You're supposed to have water and all that shit up there, right? But I would start to see like my cousins, my friends that was never lactose intolerant, but was heavy into like, motherfuckers would be drinking milk and shit all day.
Yeah.
Who the fuck just drink
that's
white
right.
milk
That's
all day
right.
with a fucking dinner just
My
drinking
grandma.
milk?
But you know,
My grandma.
milk is the base of mucus. You know what I mean? And what diseases hiding is the mucus membrane. So if we eat alkaline diet, if we have an alkaline diet, we'll eliminate it and we'll eliminate. And that's what Nipsey Hussle was promoting. That he was also vegetarian. If y'all ain't know that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
'cause vegan's way too hard, bro.
I tried to go vegetarian. I didn't have nothing to eat. I was eating cereal every day. I'm like, what the fuck can I
Because
eat?
cereal got chemicals in it also.
Yeah.
I mean, have a lot of chemicals.
I can't drink cereal.
Okay, so this is what I gotta say. I feel like a lot of these stars, a lot of these people like Beyonce, Jay-Z, Taraji P. Henson, she healed herself naturally from stomach cancer. She had stomach cancer. She healed herself naturally. We have a lot of these people that do that, but they don't never speak about it at all. A lot of them I have been peeping, like literally a lot of them, like T.I., they don't, like they don't eat meat, they don't do none of that stuff with their family, but they don't speak that into us. But that's why we got to educate ourselves and our kids.
Earlier,
exactly.
Malcolm X said that all these celebrities, these actresses, these athletes, they are not. I mean, all right, let me give you a prime example.
They're scared though, bro.
Yeah, but my big dog, I'm gonna tell you right now, my big dog told me his cousin was not Darren Sproles, somebody else that played on the Eagles back in the day. And he said that this is everything, every system has a brainwashing system, right? How they control people, right? Let me tell you how the NFL controls their players. They tell the African-American players and investigate them to tell them not to give back to their community in a way that they can't even interpret to be like, you're telling me not to fuck with my family? Because they make it seem that we always want something. We always leeching. And in that idea, you might get one or two family members that's like, yo, cuz I'm down, let me get $5. You might get one or two. But don't disregard the other ones that's actually trying to set up a business, but just need a little bit more funding. You feel what I'm saying? Trying to invest and actually put money in your pocket. Because that's one thing that black communities lack. We don't come together and you feel what I'm saying, and keep the dollar in our community. But the way that they got it set up, they really tell them, like, you think they tell TJ Watt and all these other white players, like, yo, don't go back to your hometown.
Yeah.
You think they told Johnny Manziel that? Yo, yeah, we just gave you all this money. Don't go back to the crib and get us to your family. Fuck no.
Right.
I can speak on that, though. So basically, I feel like black people are definitely raised different than a whole lot of other races.
Yeah.
A lot of other races are raised to only care for themselves, no matter what type of situation they in. That's people fail to realize that. That's why me even selling finances, a lot of black people, parents don't got life insurance.
Right.
That's how the white
For
people
real.
get an extra step in life.
Mm-hmm.
Their parents that they get $100,000. Their grandparents that they get $100,000. While we're sitting there actually paying out our pockets to put our parents.
Struggling just to pay for the
Exactly.
funeral.
That's
People
true.
fail to realize that it's like, so they always had a thought to care for themselves. Shoot, they raise their kids to care for themselves. They don't take care of
It's
each
like-
other because they raised them the same way and gave them the same opportunities.
Yeah.
For us, we all in the house together. We care for each other. No
Right,
matter
right,
what happens. That's the difference that our cultures separate. I feel like
And-
being raised in our youth and stuff.
Yeah, I can speak on
Add
that.
on to that. My fault, sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's generational curses too. Like
Yeah.
we've been taught this for years. This is just like the system of how we need to get. Yeah. So like, if you're set up a certain way in life, like I mean, you got a family that's already have business lined up for you. They can put you through college. We don't got that. Like we're not set up like that. You know what I mean? So we gotta really guide it from the mud. Like really get it. Yeah.
Definitely from the mud.
Because he had a good spot. I don't believe it's generation curses. It's generational education.
Education facts.
We
Yeah,
don't pass
you're
down
right.
the knowledge that we should have. Like your parents don't say, "Hey, you should be saving 30% of
No,
your check."
that's true.
They
That's
say,
very
"No,
true.
Do what you gotta do, pay your bills, and keep
Right.
going." But instead, they should be telling, "No, put up that money."
That is true. No, that's true.
Because your car gonna break down $800. You don't got it because
You don't.
the past
Yeah.
previous months you was just getting bad.
No,
Now your
that's
car's
true.
out, you can't get to work, you lose your job. It's a continuous cycle that we gotta like stop.
Yeah, for real, for
And
real.
it's not a generational thing, it's generational education. I meant to say it's not generational curse, it's just education. We don't educate each other, even our peers. Like, yo, bro, you shouldn't be buying them $300 shoes.
But if it comes
Shorty,
to
you trying-
curse,
But that
because the people that kind of like have their businesses and everything, they become selfish and they don't do it. And then you got these people. This is where I see it's a curse. You got motherfuckers like, I ain't gonna lie, motherfuckers will tell me like shooting a gun is cool. You know what I'm saying? Fucking a motherfucker up is cool.
I
That's
guess
the curse.
no, but
Like,
hear me out though. Now, is that a curse only because he's passing on to the next person, or is that what you being miseducated? Telling
Misguided,
you,
yeah.
so miseducated or
Yeah.
misguided.
you right about that.
So it's education.
So what about the ones, because this is what I'm having trouble with. You try to educate people, but they are so ignorant to the situation.
Because
They gotta go through their own
They are so,
experiences.
yeah, but it's like you're trying to get them out of it, but it's so hard, and
But
that's
you know
what's
what you
wrong
do?
with us now, and that's why
But look-
we're not always together. We're never
Right,
going to be
right, right.
because someone always have their opinion, or they always going off of.
And I'm gonna say because it's because of the distractions. Yeah.
scissors out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what
Right.
that's what makes
like
The
for
one
me-
way I would say about what you said, Asia, was like I said, it's the distractions because I'm dealing with that, and I got 2 girls coming in the world, right? And I've been thinking every day since I found out my wife was pregnant is how am I going to raise these kids in today's society? There's so many other different influences in the world, like you feel what I'm saying? Hold it down, but also the one thing I like to teach black women, for that instance, is independence. How to do
Right.
everything yourself, so you don't have to depend on a man. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, I want lawyers and judges. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's the distractions. You got Instagram. You feel what I'm saying? Social media. Everybody is so into their phones. You feel what I'm saying? To this technology that they forgetting about everything that goes around. Like there was a study on why people don't even look at the newspaper no more.
Yeah.
But the newspaper is where you got all the information.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? How you think things went down? Slaves was like smart as hell.
No, I swear.
You know what I mean? Slaves were smart as hell because of the information that they had to get. You know what I'm saying? And the ways they get it. But us as black people in the younger generation, we're missing out on those traits that they say behind. Did y'all know that the passage to freedom was in our beds?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit's crazy.
You know what
I
I'm
heard
saying?
about that.
But that's later
wild.
in the years, though. That's
Yeah.
later in the years. Other than that, we wasn't allowed to read.
Yeah.
We wasn't allowed to read. You was designed to be a Christian if you was in America because you was a slave if you wasn't. Because what was over here? It was natives and slaves. You know why they brought Africans over here? Because they didn't know the land. Native Americans knew the land, so they couldn't contain the Native Americans here. And that's why when later in the years, they're like, oh, fuck that. We sending the Native Americans over there to the islands. That's how they became lighter over there. Puerto Ricans. You feel what I'm saying? That's how they became lighter over there because they was shipping them off over there and Africa came over here because we didn't know the land.
Right,
You don't
right.
want to act right? Come to my prison. I got you.
True.
And if you was
And I just learned that too.
yeah, right.
Next 2019 wrap up. What else happened this year? Oh, the Antoine Rose verdict. Y'all heard about that?
I was actually in jail with the dude who he was in the car with.
For real?
Yeah,
Talk about that.
Yeah, that.
They actually told they was gonna give him a longer sentence if he said something, and I believe he got 2 years or something like that.
What do you mean they was gonna give him a longer sentence if he said what?
Because he was one of the suspects that ran, and they gave him a lighter sentence if he didn't show up in trial to testify or what happened. Yeah, and he took it.
Fabrication,
You know what I mean?
tampering with evidence.
So
What I say?
That's wild, bro.
Pause. I need to make sure I'm understanding this right. You're telling me the kid that was in the vehicle with Antoine Rose got a lighter sentence if he didn't go to trial and say what?
And tell what really happened. Yes.
But I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, right? Well, let's do this, right? We always talking about, what we know or what we think is, you know what I mean, instead of taking action. And a part of the reason why we go through them on this, like you talked about earlier, was generational curses, right? For years, everybody thought it was cool to be a drug dealer. For years, everybody thought it was cool to go rob a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. For years, everybody wanted some type of rep in the street to do dumb shit.
I'm hard.
But nobody ever decided to step on the type of level that the mafia or the mob was on. Right. See, they decided years ago that the crime shit was only going to get them so far, that it was going to be legit someday. You feel what I'm saying? Do your research. There's certain bosses that was like, we're going to make it right. You feel what I'm saying? Where corruption is everywhere, believe it or not. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people get power and they do whatever the fuck they want when they get it because they're not used to having it. You feel what I'm saying? But like I said, for years, us as black people have been distracted and not guided into those positions and working together to make sure, not to help, but to make sure that we don't fall under that type of tree where it's like you have no choice but to surrender and take the bid for something that was a positive.
When they see us.
You feel what I'm saying?
When they see us. That's a perfect example of that shit.
They know that.
If everybody's seen the Netflix documentary.
Right. Distractions.
Right.
Distractions.
I think the Antoine Rose case, I think for me it hit home a lot harder than any other black person being shot by a car because that was literally in our backyard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
I really walked in the streets of East Pittsburgh before, you know what I mean? I drive past where he got shot at every day.
I went to school.
Crazy. That feels so different because when you think about Trayvon Martin, you think about Michael Brown, you think about that's happening in far away in Florida. That happened far away. To see something like that really happen in our city, you know what I mean? We went to school with his sister. My little sister went to school with Antoine. You know what I mean? That type of thing is different. But I think in Pittsburgh, so many bad things has happened that we're kind of like numb to violence. Yeah, that's all I really had to say. Let's talk about Lori Harvey, my sis.
I'm not sure who is that. Yeah, I'm not on that.
Lori Harvey is the beautiful stepdaughter of Steve Harvey and her mother, what's her mother's name? Mallory or something like that. So she's been seen, around the industry with Future, P. Diddy, just kind of doing her thing, no real ties to anybody, living her best life, but she's getting a lot of slack in the media. They're trying to portray her like a hoe, a whore, a hooker. Yeah. What y'all think? Y'all think she's a hoe, a whore, a hooker?
Yeah.
Or y'all think she's having a good time? Y'all think she's having a good time?
No, she's...
Absolutely not. She's not a queen at all. The way she's carrying herself is...
I think she's...
Only because you can date different men. That's cool. Like, dating is fine. I feel like it's a double standard because she's a woman. She needs to be with a guy for a few months and then go somewhere.
So what if I am? Fuck y'all. Y'all can be fucking all these bitches all at once. I should be able to fuck all these niggas if I want to. Like,
all right, are we going to start talking about that? Because I got something to battle that. Are we going to do that?
I mean, what's up?
Okay. Are we talking about slut shaming? What are we talking about?
We're talking about a double standard.
But are we talking about females being okay to fuck a bunch of dudes?
No.
Oh, all right, because I was about to say.
Harvey situation.
To fuck a bunch of women, but
women
girls can't go here and fuck Tom this day, and then the next fuck Tom.
Do you want me to speak on
that? You
that?
can't do that.
Do you want me to say what I say?
I'm just saying, but why is it okay for a man?
So okay.
2-3 hours.
I'm gonna answer.
2-3 hours, and
I'm gonna answer. Clear my throat. So we're talking about, I guess, the movement that women feel left out, right? Or they feel like they gotta be trying to compare to us or in some type of level or whatever.
no.
Okay, my queen. We're talking about double standards. So let me interject.
Let's get back to double standards. The question is, Ty, if a woman is seen with multiple men, why is it automatically assumed that she's sleeping with every single
Well,
one?
me, I ain't assume shit because I don't know who she is, for one. And for two, I could give a fuck less if she's a celebrity.
Why is she a clout chaser? She already has her own clout. She's best friends with Tiana Taylor. Her dad is Steve.
Who the fuck is Tiana Taylor?
How is that clout chasing?
I just feel like the lamb, like she's trying to put herself in, like you're with all these people. I mean, she can't really determine, like, if people taking pictures of her and shit like that, she can't really hold off to that. But I feel like you know what you're doing. Like, you're trying to stay in the limelight. That's why I feel like you're clout chasing.
What if she's really dating Future? What if she's really
Nobody
dating?
cares if she's dating Future.
Future, you know how Future get down. Like, fuck, no. Yeah.
I get that, but
Hell no.
But alright, so what are we really talking about though? Is it okay?
I just feel like it's a problem if you don't own up to it.
So alright, me, from my perspective, my opinion, I could give a fuck less what she do. Because I'm not looking at the bitch like I want her to be my wife, so I don't give a fuck. But I'm gonna tell you what, when you come to a nigga and y'all talk on that date, like, yeah, you know, about your past relationships, later down the line, I found out you've been with the whole fucking crew. Damn. It's a no for me, buddy. I'ma head out. You know what I mean? Cornrows and shit.
More celebrity gossip. So let's talk about the Omarion, April. Omarion, April, and Lil Fizz. So let me give y'all some background history. Omarion, y'all know the head singer of B2K. He has a baby. What's funny about that? He has a baby.
That's why I thought it was funny.
Alright, so look, he has a baby by April.
It was great.
He has 2 kids by April. April is now dating another member of B2K, Lil Fizz. They're dating. How do y'all feel about that whole situation? They were, according to Omarion and according to Lil Fizz, they were never boys.
Negative.
They were
right.
for how long?
The most unbothered person on earth.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen nobody accept this.
No, I swear.
I ain't trying to hear that bullshit. Me and my brother had a pact since we was little. I'll never fuck this nigga's bitch ever. Brother, they broke up, you know what I mean? Even if they just talk, I will never fuck his bitches.
Every girl that he had, that was my sis, period, point blank. Period, point blank.
You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, Lil Fizz and Sunday ain't bros. All my life they're bros. I don't care. That's your God's son.
So alright, so let me.
That's the only thing that's weird because I can't look at none of my friends' friends as a nigga. I'm about to like, oh, he cute. No.
I
don't look at him like that.
So I'm gonna just say something. I had an opinion on it because I actually seen that shit and I know what you're talking about. This is something relevant, right? That shit's weird as hell because they go back to me and my brother's relationship. Like I said, his girlfriend was my sis and my girlfriend, my wife, anybody was his sis. And we never crossed that line. But at the same time, on the female's aspect, with her getting into the business, she should have been the bigger person and been like, nah, it's cool. You used to rap, used to sing with my husband, used to sing with my baby's dad.
Back up.
Even when you say I used to sing with my baby's dad, that's even weird as hell. But I'm just saying though, you know what I mean? But even still though, I think that's foul though. Like, it's disloyalty, and I think that's foul because it's like, that's weird as hell. But think about what you're doing to that kid though. You know what I mean? Wait till he get older and he see, cause listen to this.
Like,
we thinking it's like we thinking it's cool because it's celebrities. This is on TV, but this is recorded.
Yeah.
What happens when those kids grow up and they see this shit? You talk about depression and suicide.
But once again,
wait until later.
This is corrupting black people.
You feel what I'm saying?
Because they're not just regular people. Y'all are out in.
But Lil Fizz is light skinned though.
Like, you need to be like, text them like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Fizz messing around before you get out.
Yeah,
Let me tell you now, so you can shut down the backfire or anything like that. She had a responsibility to tell him.
Man, fuck no, nigga. I don't give a fuck, nigga. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. If I find out anybody in my camp is fucking my wife, nigga, you're done. It's over. Finito. It ain't none of that rolling. Because ain't none of that, bro. I ain't talking about you done. Yeah, I ain't talking about done like, oh, nigga, we done talking. You're done. Ain't none of that. Because if you easy enough to slip into my life on some shit like that, then you just presented yourself as an enemy to me. And what else is you capable of?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? You just fell into my camp on some other shit.
My bitch best friend
I feel like Fizz took the knife and put it in Omarion's back.
But
because Omarion left April.
But
like,
at the same time,
she's hurt. Like, you,
but at the same
hormones and shit like
but,
that. Postpartum depression.
Go get PD.
Don't nobody want to talk about that. Don't nobody want
That's not no excuse.
Go get ScoopTv. Hey, go fuck ScoopTV and tell them like, and this thing's bigger than yours. Niggas hate that. We hate that shit. You go fuck ScoopTV that ain't on Omorion's level yet, and tell that nigga like, yeah, he put it down. He be mad as fuck. Omorion be paying that nigga's bills. Like, oh shit, nigga.
But not his brother.
Yeah.
But that's why I feel like
Go get me. Hit me up 412.
Because Lil Fizz was saying like April was hitting me up when Omarion and her would go through things, and I'll be there for her. I'll come over to the house and
I
stuff.
showed her the cry ass and showed her the fuck.
Exactly.
I think that's
feel like
weird.
And that's
premeditated anger.
Yeah.
He been mad.
He's a light skinned nigga. He's a light skinned nigga. He's a light skinned nigga. You're and shit. You know what I mean? A light skin is already emotional.
I just feel like in that whole thing, yeah, Fizz is premeditated. April was angry because of the breakup, and I feel like going on what you said, the hormones and all that, just goes back into that standard I was talking about with guys being able to sleep with women and girls.
Yeah, that's thing. Them niggas ain't got no morals.
Girls just
Them niggas ain't got no morals. We
I'd rather her go and fuck his music, his band member, or hurt one of his kids.
But look,
like,
man.
I'm just saying, like,
run that back.
B2K.
Look, so like her, if you think about what she like, if you watch her, she says like they was going through a breakup. Omarion left her. Like that was probably the only thing to do was to cry on Fizz's shoulder. Like you know.
Yeah, but
I doubt that was the only thing for her.
But look,
that's what she said. So that's her only option. That's what we know.
But Lil Fizz should have been like, you know what? You my homie's girl. You can cry on his shoulder, but
I mean,
that was the most revenging. That was
exactly what I'm saying. Would
No,
you rather her?
I don't know that nigga. Listen to this. Check this out. Lil Fizz should have been a man and told her like, look, I understand. I understand. You feel what I'm saying? You going through this situation, but you don't smash the homie, cuz that's disrespectful. And as the homie, you don't let that happen. Cause if you let that happen, that's disloyalty. Period.
Who do you think owed Omarion more loyalty, Lil Fizz or April?
Man, April. Because that was his wife at one point in time.
Because I guarantee
Fizz might be mad
April as the baby mother owed Omarion more loyalty.
Because we're forever connected. I don't have to talk to Fizz
Exactly.
Ever.
Why does Lil Fizz?
Because that's the
Why
homie.
does April owe?
That's my baby mom.
Do they got kids together?
We got a kid. We got a
Kids are fine.
Look,
Take the kids out of the
look.
picture.
When a man ejaculate into a female, that's just dumb for real shit.
Let's just talk about
When a man is ejaculate into a female, that's a spiritual connection. You feel me? So they should.
He ain't nothing in Fizz. So
Yeah, he's not nothing in fit.
All right, so let's talk about the Tristan Thompson cheating scandal. So
Let her explain.
Tristan Thompson
Who's that?
is Khloe Kardashian's baby dad. Was caught having a party at his house with Jordan Woods, and there was some inappropriate, things going on. Like they didn't fuck, but she was just like sitting on, sitting on his lap, and
They kissed. That's all.
Oh, they kissed.
he kissed her.
But
he kissed her.
look, you gotta think. What if they had a threesome?
No, Khloe wasn't there. So Khloe wasn't
I'm
there
just
tonight.
saying, what if Khloe and her best friend had a threesome with that bitch?
Which is very true because those celebrity orgy parties are very real.
Yep.
Those things do happen.
What does that have to do with you sitting on my man's lap while I'm not there?
Well, why would your girl introduce me into fucking your man? You feel me?
We don't know that.
No, but I'm just saying that shit is. Look,
there's no.
Look. But at the same.
Oh yeah, they're Kylie's best friend. We can't bring the threesome argument up because
because
that's not irrelevant. That's not.
But she's not gonna say that. She's not gonna say that.
But let's talk about the facts. The fact is, she was sitting on Khloe's baby's dad, her man at the time's lap, and that was her sister's best friend. Was that an appropriate move as the sister's best friend?
But
No, not really.
But how? How can you say that?
Those
are the only facts that you know. You don't know the behind the scenes facts.
They
could have been fucking around all three of them. So if she thought it was okay for us to be fucking around, I'm gonna send your dudes like sitting on your face and his life at the same time.
They got famous from a dick.
But
they got famous by a dick. If you want to be
Kardashians?
technical, they got famous by a dick.
I agree with that.
But that situation, even when I was watching it, I don't even feel like it was more so like. I don't feel like it was say it was real, but I don't feel like neither one of them really
But
care
what
about the
if-
situation. I
I
just
feel
feel like
like
it was
it
a
was for a
poppin'. Yeah, like I feel like that was really for a check because when Jordan was doing that whole thing with the Will Smith's wife thing, I don't feel like there was any like emotion to
Nothing.
it. She was just like, yeah, cause
They're getting
like them niggas was just getting money. That's what that was. Like it came out there and they just made it big on her
I
own.
thought
I feel like that was
J.R.
a
Smith.
money thing.
I thought the J.R. Smith.
Because I feel like a
he
kid
was
sitting
cheating on
on
his
live,
wife.
like who cares? But I feel like it's poppin'.
The Knicks shooting guard, the Cleveland.
His wife was on Instagram praying
and shit,
Oh,
looking
that
stupid in the
was,
motherfucker.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was more viral than that shit.
No.
Oh, I got a question then. I know about something in 2019 where that thing came out where it was a comment when someone said, if your 5-year-old son come to you and you say, hey dad, I want to wear a dress, or hey mom, I want to wear a dress.
Oh, so you were referring to my status on Facebook?
Oh, that was your status. So do you let him wear the dress, or what do you do?
This is Halloween.
No.
Fuck no.
Well, DeJhana, you gotta.
What?
How old is Kai?
He's 7.
He's 7. So Kai came and said he wanted to wear a dress at 7. What would you say?
Fuck
Baby,
no.
this is for girls. You don't wear this. Let's go find something else.
But she did approve double standards earlier. I just want to note that.
But
I just want to note
listen,
that.
kids, their minds are very innocent.
And fragile.
So to say, yes, wear a dress, when it's already hard to be a black man, right? So a black man in a dress? Do I want my son to be a black man in a dress?
No, but look.
Do you want your daughter to be just a housewife? Because y'all bad washers and kitchen sets.
No.
Not at all.
No, I'm just saying, just in the black community, that's what y'all buy. Y'all want to buy baby dolls in the third.
But that
No.
Yes.
It's not.
Yes.
But
My son turned 18 and wanted to wear a dress.
Go get that shotgun.
You can wear your dress.
Make sure it's clean.
You're 18 years old, you can wear your dress, but at 7 years old, you're not wearing your dress.
Let me tell you something real quick though. So a lot of where I work with, a lot of people are becoming more to adjust to what's going on around them, and where they adjust to the city being, or the United States or whatever, just being more gender friendly and more sensitive to people's feelings and how they feel and everything. But I tend to keep it real in certain aspects of where I work. As far as if someone's asked me that question that was posted, because your post really went viral where I work, about my daughter or my son coming and wearing a dress, or my daughter wearing men's clothes and all that. No. Because it's something, like I said before, it wasn't in my community when I was growing up. It's not something that was taught to me, and if I do my research, it's not something that was in my culture. You feel what I'm saying? That's something that was, enforced on us. They really raped men and over there in the Caribbeans, you feel what I'm saying, to show them that we have power over you. And that's because that trait being passed down is how they became more homosexual. But the fact that when we were running around and people thought that shit's good to be public, I feel like you can do whatever you want in public, but everybody seemed to talk about what's tasteful. So when you're rich, a rich person wants things to be in their order, where it's like, we don't do all the belligerent and we don't do all the loudness and all of that because it's untasteful. So when you come and you do all this wild shit out in public, we expect that to be tasteful because it's like, we don't do that and that's kind of weird. But we're not going to disrespect you. So just be respectful of yourself and what's going on with yourself. Keep that in your household. Because it's like Brother Malcolm X said, whatever you do in your household, keep that in your household. Whatever religion that you respect and that you do, this is after Elijah Muhammad effect. But whatever you think you believe in, keep that in your household, because it ain't nothing but an agenda that you putting on from somebody else. All that ain't nothing but an agenda from somebody else enforced on you, and don't do that to nobody else. Because like my brother said to me when he told me how hard it's going to be raising my daughters, is the influencers, controlling the influencers around my kids. And I will be damned. Because if my 7-year-old son and my 5-year-old son came to me and said, hey daddy, I want to wear a dress, the first thing I'm going to ask him is, why and who did you learn it? Because I know for a fact that I know that I'm not putting you in no fucking dress. So somebody else have to be showing. Maybe Timmy down the street is wearing a dress and you want to be like Timmy, but I'm going to set you straight. Timmy and his parents got a different relationship than what we have.
What if Timmy isn't wearing just like a dress, but that's a part of his culture? Aren't there some cultures where men, I don't know if they're called dresses,
kilts.
Or no, not even kilts. Like,
what are
the
I
cultures?
mean,
Where the men wear the dresses. I mean, I don't know if they're called dresses, but they wear like the long shirts with the pants.
Well, those are different from dresses. You got to be educated. So
right, that's when you educate your child.
Exactly.
Just tell them like that's not your culture. Our culture is this. But they should be
or
understanding.
Not even that. You could just tell them simple as this. That's not a gender thing. So there's unisex things, and then there's woman, or there's male and there's female things. You know what I mean? So
to the question at hand, that's we getting a little off topic, but so how do you feel about the post?
First of all, I made the post because one of the celebrities had adopted a white woman had adopted black children, and the son was wearing dresses, and people were saying, that's a problem. Now we're not only allowing them to adopt our kids, but we're allowing them to shape them the way that they want to be shaped. And me and my uncle was getting an argument, but I was just like, I'm not gonna put all that. I just want to know how you felt about your son being in a dress. And that's it. I mean, my son can't be in a dress. I'm gonna have to explain that to him, but I just wanted to know, and I respect everybody's opinion on there. There was a girl on there who said she would allow. Because I think the only person who said yes.
The only reason why I said what I said is because, like I said, if my daughter or my son was to come to me and say that, I would ask him those simple questions. Where did you hear that from? Who taught you that, and why?
This is the final question of this episode because we're 2 hours in. Y'all know I don't like to edit that much.
Oh.
What is black culture? I don't got to edit nothing of what you said. I'm gonna release this 2-hour episode.
So this is Tad Jack, New Jack City. I'm gonna answer the last question myself.
We all gonna answer it.
So,
but what is the question is what is black culture?
So what is black culture to me? Because the reason why I'm gonna answer first.
Everybody's gonna answer.
Everybody's gonna answer, but I'm saying the reason why I'm gonna answer is because is our struggle for one, our skin tone for one, melanin, right? You gotta have some melanin in you. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's really just a struggle, bro. If you don't go through that understanding of what it means to be shot down, what it means to be the right name or the wrong name on an application, or just because of the color of our skin, or just having that prejudice, or just that, that type of energy that we are negative. Because one thing that Malcolm X said was, listen to what the Bible or listen to what the actual dictionary says about what is white and what is black.
Preach.
You feel what I'm saying? They say that black is wrong. Black is this and the third. And they get you to think that, right? Preach, but you got to understand, if you talking about what black culture is the actual struggle of what it is to mean black. Because we go through a lot as the people. You feel what I'm saying? And we don't get no recognition whatsoever. And everybody wants to be or claim what we go through. That's why they put it in their music, but ain't never been through what we've been through. Right. And that's why it's thriving the way it is. When you watch Get Out, the dudes sit there and tell you that black is striving. And how is it to be in a black, black in this. When it means to be black is the struggle. Not because you wear our skin or anything like that. It's the mean the struggle. Because you could be an Oreo and be black. True. You feel what I'm saying? So that's my answer.
Let's go around the table. Scoop, go ahead. What is black culture?
Growth. The reason why I say growth, this is like, imagine how we started to where we are right now. You think about the news, they portray some type of image for us and stuff like that. But in the same sense, let's talk about all these creators, this black creators. Look at this, where we at right now, what we're doing. And I feel like we need to speak on that and shine light on that a little bit more. So I would definitely say growth for real.
Growth. I like that. Asia, what's black culture to you?
Basically what both of them said, for real, definitely struggle and our growth, definitely. And also, we are the higher powers people. As in
the original. The original man.
Exactly. And that's why they are scared for us to learn our history. Because once we learn our history and understand, we're going to become higher than what we are now. Yeah, basically, we're going to thrive.
We're going to thrive as a people.
It's definitely our struggle in our growth. And because I feel like with our generation, a lot of people's waking up.
A lot.
And history repeats itself, so it's going to get back.
To go back to the topic, Nipsey Hussle woke
a lot of people up.
Yeah, he woke a lot of people up because of that shit.
What's black culture to you, DeJhana?
I don't even have to say it because Asia really took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah,
I was gonna say higher power because that's what we are. Like, and we just
God.
don't know it. And
That's why they're scared.
Black people are a soul, I feel. Very passionate, creative people, confident, and when it's time to come together, we definitely come together as a whole and become one.
Mm-hmm. Period. I like that. What is black culture to you?
Black culture is evolution, resilience, powerful growth. It's our ancestors' wildest dreams coming true. It's the adjective, noun, and verb.
Okay, well, look, I'm in nursing school.
They had to tell.
I take a psychology class. Look, listen. I take a psychology class, and I'm literally the only black person in the class. And at first, I'm like, damn. And then I'm like, no, I'm about to talk every chance I get.
Facts.
Y'all not gonna try to belittle me because in psychology they talk about poverty, black community, literally every single day, and I'm like, yes, they talk about how
interesting.
Yeah, they talk about how blacks is fight or flight for us, like the mind, how we're taught to be like, are we gonna fight or are we gonna run? Like, or whites, are they gonna fight or are they gonna run? Like, we talk about the mind a lot.
Look, bro.
All right, well, we about to end this episode. I trust you. I believe you. That's for a whole nother episode. If you want to come back on the Bold Brown Opinionated Podcast, I invite you anytime. But just to end this off, because we are at 2 hours. To me, black culture is sweet potatoes and yams, greens, some fire soul.
You ain't asked me what black culture was.
I thought you said it. You said
it right. I did.
But I feel like, soul food, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it just feels good to be black. Like, that's black culture, you know what I mean? Just to even come up here, be at a table full of people having a good time, dancing. There's a lot of black culture and exactly cookouts,
good time.
Like, I feel like the good, the bad, and the ugly about being black is black culture, and that's how we're gonna end this episode out. We're done with the 2019 wrap up. 2020. I'm trying to have a good year, y'all.
For real.
We're gonna have a
good year. Stay blessed. Stay positive. And we out, y'all. It's the Bold, Brown, and Opinionated Podcast. Until next time. Hold up, y'all. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Bold, Brown, and Opinionated. Y'all, it's super simple. It's literally Bold, Brown, and Opinionated. Go make sure you're following us on Instagram. Go subscribe on our YouTube, our Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify. Wherever you're listening to this episode right now, make sure you hit that like button, share, comment, and leave us ratings. I want to hear from you. Let's get acquainted, y'all. Let's talk. Lastly, I want to encourage my listeners to be all that you were meant to be with your boldness, to love the skin that you're in with your brown, glowing melanin. And remember, just because you're opinionated does not mean you're angry, so never be afraid to have an opinion. And before I go, please follow The Bold, The Brown, and The Opinionated Podcast on Facebook and Instagram for all your podcast updates. And until next time, my BBO gang,